What is going on, guys? So I thought I'd do something a little bit different today. I posted a video 2 weeks ago titled The Psychological Impacts of Divorce. It was a video where some blokes were getting together and sharing their experiences, their stories, and how divorce impacted their lives. It was a great video. I got a lot of positive feedback and a lot of comments from you guys telling me about your stories and your experiences with divorce and marriage. I picked out 2 comments that I thought were particularly meaningful and that I thought would have the most impact on a younger generation of MGTOW, maybe people that are still thinking about getting married. So maybe I'll do a series about this. If you guys enjoy this type of thing, or if you have stories that you want me to share with others, leave them in the comment section of this video and I will get to those as well. So the first one comes from a guy called Rad Janvar. Sorry if I'm getting your name wrong here. Let's get into what he says. There's a woman from my previous place of work. She has everything she ever demanded from her husband. Fancy, luxurious SUV cars, and untold amounts of extravagant jewelry. She also vacations 2 to 3 times a year, paid for by her beta cuck husband, who slaved away at ridiculous amounts of overtime work just to please all of her materialistic demands. She had children, family, and a high-paying job. But she still made her husband's life so awful and miserable, she wouldn't even let him voice his opinion on anything, lest he was oppressing her with his masculine voice. And she always reared the children to be disrespectful towards him. She would always threaten him with the feminazi divorce system, and she was treating him like a disposable tool bag and ATM machine. Well, her husband committed suicide one day by shooting himself in the head with a shotgun. After her husband's tragic suicide, she applied for the maximum amount of FMLA and time off from work. She used that time off work to go on a vacation, during which time she got engaged to another man. All of this within 3 to 4 months after her husband's gruesome suicide. She always portrayed herself as the ultimate victim, because her previous husband had canceled his life insurance policy several months before his suicide. So, the wife portrayed herself as the victim because she could not get a $900,000 disbursement from the life insurance policy. She described him as a selfish man who didn't care about his own wife and children when he stopped paying his life insurance. She still has her 6-figure, high-paying job, but continues to whine about the missed insurance money. She is doing Operation Rinse and Repeat, and is a proud feminist. Good luck out there, boys, all you mindless beta cucks and white knights. So, this is a pretty brutal and honest comment, but it has a story to it. This man and this woman, when they first got married, they did not think that that's how the marriage would end. And this is the same story for every single marriage out there. When a man and a woman meet each other and they get married for that first time, they're thinking that this is going to be great. They're thinking that nothing's going to go wrong and I'm going to have this great family and everything will be perfect. Well, this is a reality check. That doesn't always work out, and in today's society, it's working out at ever-decreasing rates. So thank you, Rad Janvar, for your comments. Let's get on to the next one. This one comes from Roger Davis. Here's what he said. Here is my story. Bear with me, I'm no writer. I married way young. She was beautiful. We had a bunch of kids together. My kids got older. Nobody would grow up and leave home, and no one would listen to me about moving on. And my driving job became more and more taxing just to take care of all these people. I would drive 100 hours a week and log legally at 70 hours. Only a driver would know what I'm talking about here. All things came to a head at age 48, when I would return home at times. Have a list of things that could be done only by me, but nevertheless had to be done. I woke up after about 24 hours at home, preparing to drive my big truck at about 2 a.m. on Monday morning in October of 2014. I also at this time had severe heart AFib, to the point of dizziness. I had 3 episodes before, but not to this extreme. Nevertheless, I loaded up my truck, and much to my shame, began my drive to Kentucky with my flatbed load. I got maybe 50 miles into it. At about 9:30 a.m. on the 285 Atlanta bypass, just coming down a ramp I passed out. Never had this happen to me before. But when I woke, I was ass-end in traffic with the tractor right steer on the grass shoulder, no 4-ways on, no brakes engaged. When I woke, I was not aware of who I was, where or why I was there, or what the hell to do. After several minutes of intense AFib and dizziness, I managed to figure out my surroundings well enough to proceed, and I did, for 10 minutes. Then, I felt the overwhelming dizziness and the fade to black again. I managed to pull off the roadway and engage my air brakes this time. This is what death feels like, were my last thoughts, as I slipped away and did not think I would wake up. My feelings at those last moments were a mixture of bliss and euphoric relief. It was all finally over. I awoke 8 minutes later, and at that point was where I began to live. I went home to make changes. It was not accepted, and I was told to leave until I straightened up. To my great delight, I have not straightened up, and now live my life, have hobbies, have an excellent job, and am surrounded by respect that I deserve. I send money home for the youngest, without fail, and I mean that. Life has taken on stronger meaning, and has become all I want, and is only getting better. Point is, for all that you grieve, there is hope, but it begins with letting go. Let go of the pressure to be an overachiever. Begin every day like a person just coming out of a relationship prison. You've got all good things ahead of you, just hang in there, and one day it will all be a distant dream. A life you lived where, if you chose, you'll remember only the good. Find your passion again, and you'll find that there are so many things that you can do that'll bring you happiness. My AFib has nearly disappeared. I get actual sleep, tons of it sometimes. I work in my shop, and best of all, I never argue with anyone, ever, about anything. No mowing the lawn, or fixing the house, or someone else's car. My awakening occurred on a lake in Montana, on my kayak, catching bass in the rocks near a dam with my tiny floating Rapala. What will your awakening be? Go out and find it. Smile at everyone, strike up a conversation with anyone, and start your life again now. There we go, guys. Thank you, Roger Davis. That was a very powerful comment that you left me. And it just goes to show, sometimes the most tragic and terrible of events, like what happened to you, are the only thing that will wake you up and get you out of a terrible marriage or relationship that you're living in. So again, guys, if you enjoy this type of content, if you want me to read more stories from people in the comment section, let me know, and I will get to those as fast as I can. So guys, hopefully you found this informative. I will see you in the next video.